feeds wildlife and rolling green hills. But then, the water passes through the sieve of Chico, where it is stripped of wildlife, filtered and brewed into beer. The rest of the water passes through the filth of the city, collecting the waste of the lowest among us, gathering the muck of our high-speed vehicles before it is spread far and wide to feed the monocrop fields of domesticated life. Mother Nature has caught the grid, a disease that confines life to boxes, pumping in resources and pumping out waste, a cancerous growth that knows only the limits of growing ambition. A disgusting, imposed normalcy that strips land of its diversity and soul. Paradise has been bulldozed down to create a hellscape of our own creation, a concrete jungle. It's not enough to suffer alone. Oh no, we throw pity parties to commiserate together, to babble about our shitty days, descending into darkness, consumed by the city's current. These people have no eyes. These desperate souls that come to me in dreams, scattering their wrath and misery in the pockets of my brain. But there's one that comes, unlike the rest. It's marvelously effervescent and ethereal. It simply holds against the current, opening its mouth against the current, opening and expressing freely as it holds to the current. You've all been letting the current drag you down. I'm here to rescue you. Letting life happen to you, forced to stay in a cave haunted by delusions of a fearfully sick society. And the current has stained your reality, demanding that you focus on the negative. Even our brains work against us, wired to remember only the bad stuff, or most of the bad stuff. Our brains are wired so that we learn from danger, but is there any real danger in our comfortable society? Do we all worry about lions and tigers and bears, even when there are none? They died off. They died when the bulldozers came, slaughtered when the pioneers came. The lions are not sleeping tonight. They're dead. So what are you so scared of? It's okay. Find your voice. Tell me now. What are you so scared of? Really big ships. Rent. Aha. Damn rent. Whew. Are you so scared that you won't be able to pay the rent? That you'll descend to some miserable life as a homeless bum, terrorized by the fear that you're just one missed rent payment from being out on the street? What happens when corporations trick us out of our rent money? What did you have to do for the money in the first place? It was said long ago, it was said long ago, those who labor in the earth are the chosen people of God. I'm not sure if those are my words, but they were said by Thomas Jefferson. That if ever there was a chosen people of God whom he gives substantial and genuine virtue, it would be those who toil in the earth, who farm and grow life. That we need that connection to nature for true and lasting happiness. While we have land to labor, then let us never wish to see our citizens occupied at a workbench or seated behind a computer, which is completely unfathomable to this generation. We're just only 10 generations since the pioneers who set out in search of freedom, but did they ever find it? Did they ever find that freedom? Certainly to sail to a new land full of mystery, and it is incredibly adventurous. But were these people ever happy? And have we ever found happiness since? Or are we living out a curse of those who have come before us, doomed to always chase happiness that remains out of reach? The pioneers, they never really made this place home, and how could they when they were always in search of more, always ever west? Still, with one foot on the boat, how could they ever make a place a home with one foot out the door? Every year, 40 million Americans move. They leave their communities, pull up roots with the illusion that it must be better somewhere else, abandoning the ever-elusive community that could be the source of their happiness. And this country of ours, it doesn't give us the right to be happy. Instead, we're always cursed to pursue happiness as though it's never ours to have. It's no wonder we're all restless. No wonder ADHD is rampant. If you force a miraculous human mind into a box with a hole to see the outside, everything that's outside of the box, then everyone would be stir crazy. And the box I speak of is the scheduled structure of school and work, while the hole to see the world are the screens we have in our pockets. Have you ever felt the uncomfortable feeling that you just must get out? To reclaim your ability to survive outside of the prison of the matrix. You really should get out. This is life-saving advice to all life of Earth. As the overly ambitious and greedy fight and claw their way to hold their hand, just hover over a big red button. Go, leave, get to safety where they won't drop a bomb on you. Or at least that's what the media is feeding us. The end is near, rampant doomism, the world's gonna end. All to stoke a flame of fear inside of us. And for what? To further sci-fi's ability to tell me how shitty the future is gonna be? Or is it to sell insurance? Or is it to cram us all away into vaults to survive the fallout? I'm not sure the world is going to end. I'm not sure if that time is soon. But what I am sure of is that there are many people who believe and are convinced that the world is going to end soon. The end is coming. And I'm concerned that movies will convince us that the world is ending, and that in itself, convincing us through movies that the world's going to end might just do it. It might just bring about the end of humanity. From now on, there will be more and more robots forgetting their humanity, feeling nothing, and thinking about everything while not thinking for themselves. History and memory are right now being erased. Our dreams ended before we could even begin to dream. And if we don't reclaim our humanity and nature, then sci-fi tells me that our minds will be unplugged from our bodies, plugged into a circuit board before we're even born. The hour is later than we think. Wake up, we need you! So what now? Doesn't it feel like we're up on a cliff's edge, held in suspense of a thrilling movie, scared, afraid? I'm afraid too. I'm afraid to look at my fears. I'm afraid to speak of my weaknesses. I'm afraid to let down my guard and feel safe to come out. I'm afraid to be humble and ask for help. I'm afraid to say I love you, and I'm afraid to trust you. I'm afraid to live. What does it take to not be afraid of life? I think it takes to not being afraid of death, not being afraid of dying, but instead feel the motivation to embrace our one wild and precious life, our brief bloom before death. I dare you all to seize today. Carpe diem, to write it on your heart every day that today is the best day of the year. Everyone who owns today is rich, but no one owns today who allows it to be invaded with fret and anxiety. So finish every day and be done with it. You've done what you could, and some blunders and absurdities now crept in, no doubt. Forget them as soon as you can, because tomorrow is a new day, so begin it well and serenely, with too high a spirit to be bothered by old nonsense. This new day is too dear, with hopes and limitations, to waste a moment on the yesterdays. All good things are wild and free, so create your own change that you want to live in your life. Take the bold first step out your door, leaving behind the box and the schedules. Take just one day, this today, as a vacation from your long list of to-dos. Vacation, if you didn't know, is having nothing to do and all day to do it. Instead of meeting up with people, meet up with your favorite tree. Tell the tree all the reasons you love it. And how about an ode to a tree, a poem? Oh me, oh my, a tree. We can be free by climbing a tree. Fly high as the bee. Branching branches entice me to swing. Me in a tree swinging free. In the tree you will find a key to be free. Instead of waiting in traffic like your normal days, make friends with a bee. And watch that bee, and it will give you advice. Advice from a bee would be, create a buzz. Sip life's sweet moments. And mind your own beeswax. Work together. Always find your way home. Stick close to your honey. And be yourself. And ask the bee if the bee has friends. And in may fly a butterfly, with the advice, let your true colors show. Take yourself lightly. Look for the sweetness in life, and take time to smell the flowers. Fly free in the breeze, free of expectation, because you do not have to be good in your life. You do not have to walk on your knees for 1,000 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of rain are moving across the landscape, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese in the clean blue air are heading home. No matter how lonely you are, the world offers itself to your imagination. Calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting. Over and over announcing your place in the family of things. What is stopping you? Go out and enjoy this today. If it's money that's stopping you, here you go. Take it. Be free. Go on vacation. Get out of the matrix. But be warned, there's only one thing more infectious than a disease. It's an idea. The idea I have for you all is Mother Nature is a treasure. A paradise to love and respect. A home to all. To spread this idea, I've literally buried hidden treasure in nature so that treasure hunters might see the treasure of nature, to remember our true birthplace and the miracles of earth.